Where are you going?
Cigarettes are so last century. If you're looking for a buzz,
What are you doing?
gas, suck it up.
Do you want to try it?
No, thanks.
Go on, Carly, I will if you will.
Yeah, go on, Carly.
Do you want to?
No, not really, I don't.
Why not? It's nothing bad. They wouldn't sell it if it was.
I don't want to.
Here you go. Please yourself. You paid for it.
Woo! Wicked. Should we try it, guys?
One Saturday evening in 1988, I walked into the bathroom of my home and found my son dead. He was just 16, and I couldn't understand why a happy, healthy 16-year-old boy was laying in the bathroom, dead. And it wasn't until 2 weeks after his death I discovered that he'd been deliberately abusing from an aerosol can. I actually felt a failure. I was a mum, I should have known. I was a nurse, I should have known. So there was the mum side and the professional side that didn't know anything about it. And that's what's so frightening, because that's status quo. It's the same today. There are lots of mums out there that don't know. There are lots of professionals out there that still don't know.
A lot of adults believe that sniffing is a fad of the 80s that's gone away. It's not. It's with us, and it's still killing, on average, one person a week in the UK.
Aerosols they're fairly complex products. It's a can that contains a product of some sort and a propellant that pushes the product out of the can as a mist, as an aerosol. And it's the propellant that's misused, not the product. So consequently, any aerosol product that contains a lot of propellant can be misused.
This form of abuse is extremely dangerous. It has a huge capacity to kill at any time, more so than alcohol and a lot of other substances. And that primarily it's a danger to young people. They say the optimum age of use is around about 11 to 15 years of age. The youngest death ever in the UK is just 7. Why they do it could be a whole range of issues. It could be experimentation, it could be under peer pressure from their friends, it could be because they've got other issues and they see this as a form of release.
Young people 16, they change their friends at that age because some mature more quickly than others. And Darren had actually changed his friends around Christmas time. And it was this change of group of friends. They were sniffing. And apparently they'd encouraged him.
So who's going to do it then? Come on, who's first? TJ? TJ, actually going to do it? Donna, 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 Donna.
There can be certain telltale signs. For example, different products around the home being found in different places. So if you find an aerosol, for example, not in the bed, that should be in the bedroom or in the kitchen, and you find it down the shed. There's that. There's a distinctive rash that goes around the nose and the mouth. Now I know children get acne as they grow up, but this is a very distinctive rash. There can be a reddening of the eyes, a soreness. But overall, aroma, a smell on an individual can also be a telltale sign. Now, it might well be that just one of those signs independently doesn't mean necessarily that the young person is abusing. But perhaps if you get 2 or 3, then it would be a cause for concern.
One of the notable features is that you can die virtually the first time you do it. Unlike heroin and other drugs, which takes a long while before you have ill effects, with VSA you can die virtually the first time. And we think it's because it's difficult to estimate the dose. The products are vapours, they're gases, you can't see them, you can't see the volume you're using.
Don't worry, someone will be here in seconds. Carry on.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, 11.
Darren would have died very, very quickly after abusing. If someone abuses and they need to be defibrillated within 10 minutes, and even if I would have found Darren as he collapsed, the chances of an ambulance arriving at my home were pretty remote within 10 minutes. So maximum of 10 minutes, but it could have been instantaneous.
The most common place of death is either in their own home or the home of a friend. Most people think of this as being something that goes on in waste ground, behind the bicycle sheds, but the commonest place of death is at home. I think parents should generally be alert to the fact that normal household products can contain compounds that can be used as drugs, and just look for suspicious patterns of use of aerosols, cigarette lighter refills, things of that sort.
My eldest son is still traumatised by his brother's death. He still blames himself. He's still, on the anniversary of Darren's death, he's still, no matter where he is in the world, he will buy some red roses and throw them in the water in memory of Darren. He still believes it was his fault. He should have known because he was the big brother. My middle son is very angry at Darren, and he's still very angry at him for doing something so stupid. But when I spoke to the boys about it after Darren had died, they weren't aware of volatile substance abuse either. So how could they have known? How could they have talked to him?
We know that this form of abuse has a huge capacity to kill, but there are also other symptoms that are just as drastic. For example, very often you'll get people that will sniff, and they'll be sniffing, for example, petrol. What you've got to remember then is they completely lose all reality. And the first thing they'll do is perhaps light a cigarette. And on several occasions we've had horrific cases of young people sustaining terrible injuries through burns, purely and simply because they've lit a cigarette and caused an explosion.
I think one of the most important things for young people to realise, they may have friends that have been sniffing for a long time, and they're fine, or they may appear fine. They could be the unlucky ones to die the first time they sniff. But what that person doesn't realise is those young people could be damaging their lungs, their liver, their kidneys, their brain, their heart, their bone marrow. There's more to volatile substance abuse than death.
The one key message that we need to get across to adults is that one of the causes of death is that this form of abuse has an impact on the heart. And sometimes the heart can contend with it, sometimes it can't. If a professional or a parent comes across somebody that's high on volatile substances, you need to remember, yes, they might well be aggressive, yes, there will be a personality change, and yes, the parent will feel like resolving the situation there and then. What we say is don't. Keep the young person calm. You don't want to put any more pressure on the heart than there already is. So don't animate them further.
I mean, there's no safe way you can misuse volatile compounds. Every time you do it, you stand a risk of dying, and just a little bit of pleasure is not worth that risk.
Carly, 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 Carly.
3, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Stop.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.